So maybe we can start?
All right, brilliant. Is there going to be an introductory from your end, or should I just, begin?
No, you can start.
All right, brilliant. Great to be here with you. I'd like to thank everybody for inviting me to talk, and hopefully this will be interesting. Yeah, brilliant. It's unfortunate that I can't actually be with you guys because of the entire COVID situation, but I hope you and your families and your pals are all well and healthy, and that's the most important thing at this point. All right. So great. Anyways, so for those of you who maybe haven't researched or first time seeing my name, first of all, I would like to say that that it's really an honor and pleasure to be here, and that I've been to Doha several times. It's such an amazing experience. Unfortunately, I plan to come this year as well, but yeah, with everything that's going on, it's good that we don't travel a lot. So my name is Kemal Balihodzic. I've been working in the motivation and coaching business for the last, let's say, 8 or 9 years. Published 2 books on that point. One is Born for Success, and the other one is 50 Shades of Sales. Most oftenly, I do workshops and trainings and coaching with the business group of people, but also one-on-one. I am not a life coach, and I don't want to emphasize that. So that's very important for me. And yeah, that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that I'm a father of 2 beautiful princesses. Got married very early on, sometimes when I was 20. And when they first approached me to, would I like to give a speech for the Qatar Youth Forum, and they told me there's going to be a lot of young people involved, I said, that is amazing. And of course, I said yes. And I was thinking, what should I talk to them about? And, they can hear a lot of motivation speeches everywhere, wherever they go, on YouTube, online, on social media. But what I find very, very in particular interesting is that whenever I ask them about what are their goals and what they want to achieve, and how do they feel in life, they most oftenly seem a bit lost. And let me give you a story. And with this, I officially start my presentation. 3 years ago, I had a car accident. It was a terrible car accident. I was just on my way to a meeting, and a car hit me on my left side on the driving seat. And I don't recall anything, actually. What they told me was, when they were pulling me out of that car, actually, I did 2 things. When they pulled me out of the car, the first thing I did was I took out my phone, and this is crazy, and this is why I'm telling the story, is I pulled out my phone, and I answered, and I sent a couple of messages to the people I had to meet, some business partners, and I told them I'm going to be late for work, and I'm going to be late for the meeting. Okay, that's the first thing I did. I don't recall that at all. People were calling me and saying, oh, what the hell happened? The other thing that I did was, there was a lady pouring water on my face. She was probably thinking that I should wake up or something. I wasn't conscious, but I was awake. So when they did this, I told the very kind and nice lady, I told her, don't do that, you're gonna destroy my hair. So there are 2 things that I did unconsciously. When they were pulling me back to the hospital, the guy that was in the car, in the hospital van, he told me the only thing I was saying was, thank God my wife and children are okay. When I understood what was going on, when I understood that I had a very bad car accident, I started trembling. And I wasn't thinking a lot about the past. I wasn't thinking about the future. I was only thinking about what would happen if somebody else was in there. What would happen if my daughter was there? What would happen if my wife was there? I felt terrible. Okay. I wasn't guilty for the car accident, I might say that. But the thing is, when you have such an experience, and maybe some of you did, you tend to think about life in a sense that, you're not, in a sense that you have to understand where you are at every moment of time in order to appreciate it. And when I feel most oftenly is that people, and I will be talking about this, that people don't see it In that sense, they're always striving, and we're always striving to achieve something more, and that is fine. We're always looking into the future, or we're clinging on the past, and we're constantly searching of ways for a happy life, because that is what we all want, don't we? Okay. But in searching and constantly either clinging or searching for the future, we tend to be losing the present. And actually, that will be what we are, what I'll be talking now. And we're constantly in self-doubt, and we're constantly looking into who are we, what do we want to achieve. You know, you open social media, you're constantly looking at other friends. They're, you know, enjoying themselves. They have these amazing cars, or, you know, they're traveling, or they're successful in business, or whatever they're doing. You want that. You feel that if you achieve that, that's it. But when you ask those people, they're like in an autopilot. You know, because of all that and constantly searching for more, we're constantly self-doubting ourselves and doubting what we want to achieve. So the most important question that we have to ask ourselves is, who am I? Now, if we were in a group of, say, 50 or 100 people, there's a very easy way to understand this, and we can repeat this, but it's very hard to get online. And this is beautiful, by the way. Like, imagine this a couple of years ago. I mean, this is crazy. Having an online workshop is such a brilliant experience. We live in such an amazing world. So basically, when we are having these workshops on who am I ask the participants and the auditorium to answer one simple question, actually 3 questions very fast. 1, what's your name? So usually when I say it's very easy and you can repeat it, what's your name? And say, okay, my name is Kemal B. Okay, cool. The other question is, what do you do in life? And they say, okay, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, you know, I'm a student. And the third question that I ask them is, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? And most often it's the third question when we ask them fast. Okay, what's your name? Okay, what do you do? Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? The third question is, they tend to get lost. They tend to get, because, you know, because of all these questions that life gives us, we tend to self-doubt. And most of the time, we don't know who we are. So this is the basic question of what we're going to do today. And they told me I have a 5 years period to talk. So just kidding. This is going to be very simple, very easy, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, to answer the question of life, Robert Frost, one of the most amazing poets, he has a saying. He says, in 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. It goes on. Okay? So whatever happens to you in life, you know, whatever difficulty you're going through right now, whatever difficulty you went through, whatever pain, whatever, you know, anxiety, whatever, you know, you felt that would, you know, destroy your life, life has to go on, and it will pass, and it has to pass. You know, that's why we live in this constant circle of life that we have to understand. So life goes on, and when we understand this, we come to a point where we have to feel the moment. But how can we feel the moment if we're constantly under stress, under anxiety, anxiousness? And there are 3 things that we have to understand in order to proceed. One is, I am the present. What does that mean? Okay. So there are 2 amazing stories. One is one I read actually a long time ago from the former Indian illustrator Uncle Pai, Anand Pai. He has an amazing story about 2 fishermen on a boat. Okay, and this story is one of the stories that made my mind tingle. Okay, it made me, and I read it 10 years ago. I found a book somewhere hidden in the library. I took it out. I went through it. One of the books that changed my life about positive thinking is, there's this story about, you know, 2 fishermen on a boat, and there's no land. They just got lost. There's no land at all. They can't see it. And, you know, one of them is constantly saying, okay, what would happen if water comes in? What would happen if we have a hole in the boat? What would happen if there's a shark? What if? And he's constantly saying that. And the other guy is searching for something, and this guy goes crazy, says, what are you searching for? We're gonna, we're gonna die. So this guy says, can you just, shut up for a minute and take some paddle? Okay, here's a paddle, and just start paddling. So there's two mindsets in life. And I base my, categorization of people in between those two. One is the people that constantly campaign the negative source of energy, constantly complain about things. They're not satisfied. They see things as not possible. And the other guy, the other person who says, I'm gonna paddle, and we're gonna search for land, because that's the only thing in the present that we can do. Okay, so that's one story. I loved it. We can put another person in that boat that constantly, is search of the future and says, what if we find a land that's full of, I don't know, animals that will eat us alive? So the guy in the present actually is the only person that is positive and that finds a solution at that moment of time. Okay, and there's a second story, and I usually use this story in the context of my sales trainings. A company sends two watch sellers, okay, two sales agents of watches to a undisclosed land, whatever. And one of them returns with a report, with a feedback that says, there's nothing here, there's nothing here. People are still looking at the sun. We can't sell anything. They don't use watches, okay? So the company says, okay, yeah, okay, come back, no problem. They send the other guy just for, confirmation. And the other guy sends a totally different report. He says, oh my God, this is amazing. There's no one using watches. We can have a monopoly here. We can actually conquer the market. There's no other company involved. People still look at the sun. What is the main difference? So the one got, of course, sacked, and the other one got a promotion. So the difference between the two watch sellers is very, very simple. One is a constant source of energy and a negative energy, and the other one, he had a positive mindset. He went there and he saw opportunity and he grabbed it. So this is the basic, understanding of what and how things are. So for those old schoolers such as myself that when we were young watched How I Met Your Mother series, there's one quote that I love from Barney Stinson. He says, when I'm sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. It's such an amazing sentence. He said, when I'm sad, I just stop being sad. It's about the mindset. It's about how we see things. And the problem in life is that we constantly tend to see things negatively because it's a stronger feeling, it's a stronger emotion, and that is normal. Okay, I'm not saying it's not normal, it's totally normal. But if we see things and how we name things are the two most important techniques in our mind, how to overcome anxiousness, anxiety, pain, regret, everything that we lose and make us feel bad. And there's a principle, and most of you have heard about it, or should have heard about it. It's called the Pareto principle. And the Pareto principle is sometimes as well called the 80-20 rule. It basically means 80% of the time for 20% of success. Now, in the context of life, there was a research that I read that this Pareto principle affects humans every day. How? It says that we spend most of our time, or 80% of our time, contemplating, making these sceneries, scenery A, B, C, D, whatever, and 80% of our time we spend worrying instead of actually doing something or enjoying life. 2 years ago, I had it was very hectic at work. We have a company in the UK, in London, and we have a company in Sarajevo. We did a lot of work in Dubai, in Doha, in Kuwait, in several other GCC countries, and it was very hectic for me, and we had a lot of difficulties. So at one point of time, I came to the company and people were hugging me, and I said, like, what's going on? And usually I'm a motivational speaker, so it's a bit difficult when people start seeing you tired. So they were telling me like, you look exhausted, you look terrible, you look like, you know, you've seen a ghost. It's going on for a long time. You should take some rest. And I was feeling okay. I was thinking I was feeling okay, but the thing is, the truth is, I was in pilot mode, okay, in autopilot. I was, you know, somewhere constantly, you know, solving problems, solving issues, scaling my business, but I was never actually there in the moment, you know. And so I came home. I, you know, had a cup of coffee. And in Bosnia, if you don't have a cup of coffee at home, you're not in Bosnia. We are the third, you know, three biggest drinkers of coffee in the world. So I told my wife and I asked her actually. I said, you know, darling, is it really true that I look terrible? And she was like, very, you know, you don't have to want to say it, but terrible is just a very easy word to say to actually say how you look like. So, and I took a couple of days off. I turned off my phone. I didn't take my laptop with me. I just took my family and we went somewhere. So as a workaholic, when you do that, it's terrible. The feeling is that in 5 days times, for instance, and you know, if you're an entrepreneur such as myself or many others, you don't have much time to relax. So the feeling is, in a 5 days period or time frame, you need 3 or 4 days to unplug. And the fifth day, you feel actually where you are. Okay, so for that moment on, I started talking about the principle of the present, or the principle of the now, or the power of the now. How to feel that you are present, how to engage the present, how to engage the now, and get the most benefit out of it. Okay, so imagine if we're talking about the Pareto principle in business, you know, you can use it a lot of time. 80% of sales brings 20% of income. One of the key points when talking about time and talking about this principle and life, and when you transform it into business, is vision. You have to have a vision. That is the goal. That is where you want to go. But the mission is the present. The mission is how you're going to achieve it. Okay, so most of our time at this point is spent contemplating, creating different types of sceneries in our mind that actually exhausts us. It drains our energy. So when we come home, instead of actually laying down, putting our phone down, whatever, we, you know, either open the TV, we open our laptop, we have 20 different tabs on our laptop, we open our phone and we have XXW apps on it. I have no idea what kind of apps I have on my phone, especially because of the COVID-19. So we are constantly being drained. So we do not understand the present. We understand the concept of the future, but we understand it totally wrongly. Okay, and I'm going to discuss this. And this is where the concept of success and failure comes in. Okay, we constantly see people on social media, on, you know, everywhere else, talking about success and failure and whatnot. And there's an understanding of what success is and what failure is. Now, let me tell you about a friend of mine. Let me tell you about a friend of mine. He's a very close friend. We've been together for 20 years. He's actually one of my best friends. And you know, I'm constantly in this. I love to travel. I love the energy. I love to, you know, I like it hectic. He's a different guy, and he's very calm and easy and whatever. And he got a very stable job in a company. And whenever I find the time or travel by his place, I give him a call. And we were drinking coffee and sitting in a place. And I was asking, like, why don't you, you know, go out there? Why don't you try something different? He's like, you know, Kemal, let me tell you something, man. This morning, I, you know, slept like a baby. I woke up, drank my coffee, had my breakfast, went to work, finished work at 3 o'clock afternoon, came back home, was with my children, with my wife, had a beautiful time, went outside to the park, and came home to watch a movie. And I was thinking, at that time, I couldn't do that. Of course not. That's me. But what are we, what are we striving for? What is the essence? What is the meaning of success? Because for me, I believe that success is one thing: being happy and feeling being happy. Okay. So when we are in a constant notion of, and by the way, if before I go through, if anybody wants to ask a question, stop me, just raise your hand. If I know the answer, I'll answer it. If I don't know the answer, then I'm probably gonna ignore it. So the feeling is the feeling is that sometimes because of stress in life and because we're going through a difficult patch, it can be anything. It can be something from work, family. It can be just a small breakup that, you know, breaks our heart. It can be people. Most often it's people. We feel like we lost. We feel like we lost the touch. We feel like we don't have, you know, the rope. We can't hand to a rope that will save our lives. But that is because we constantly feel the pressure of the future, and we constantly, and you know, cling on the past. And it's not easy. Let me tell you guys, it's not. It's definitely not easy. I had these periods, and I've been doing motivational speakings, you know, for 8 years now. I did it in 7 different countries. I'm constantly traveling. Well, by 2020. But what I felt is it's not easy to, you know, get out of this box where sometimes, you know, everything around us is undermining us. So there are simple ways to get to the present. One is become more aware. And how to become more aware is to increase mindfulness and trigger it initially if desired. So how to trigger self-awareness? Okay, there are different ways to trigger self-awareness. One of them is using body language. You know, you constantly see these people on the streets, you know, when you go out now, and if it's 3 o'clock in Doha time, so probably tonight when you go out, and you'll see sometimes people just, you know, with their hands in their pocket, you know, they're down, they feel sorrow, they feel sad, they feel the pain, okay? But how to trigger mindfulness, how to trigger awareness is like, you have to trigger your body. You have to change the stance that you're currently in. You cannot feel happy if your body is down. You can't feel happy if you're like, oh, okay, no, and you feel happy. No, you should think about, you know, salary you're gonna get, the lady or boyfriend or husband or wife that you're gonna meet at home. You know, you should think about, and that is where motivation, and where we'll talk about it afterwards. That's where it comes in. So sometimes you have to trigger your awareness and mindfulness at that point. Where am I? Ask yourself the question, what am I? Where am I? What am I looking at? You know, let me tell you a story, and I'm just pulling through. I have, okay, so I lost my dad sometimes 8 years ago. He was my hero. He was everything to me. It's, whenever I talk about him, I kind of get emotional, so I apologize for that. He had this thing. We didn't see each other for some time because he lived in Dubai. We got back. He was working there, and when he came back, we have this beautiful apple tree in the front yard. I used to wake up, you know, turn on TV or play football or whatever. He used to go outside, take a cup of coffee, sit underneath the tree, take an apple, just pick an apple, just right from the tree, all right? And you can do this everywhere here, so, you know, you're welcome. And he used to take this apple, and, you know, by the time we had apples, you know, in our front yard, we had so many apple trees that, you know, you literally, you're overwhelmed with it. And he used to sit there and just looking at the apple, you know, and eat it with such delight that I don't know what I can eat with such delight, you know. And I used to ask him, and he answered me a very simple thing. He said, you should feel, he said, son, you should feel every moment. You should understand every moment, and you should cherish every moment. And that was the time that I really understood my father. And after all this corporate works and everything else, the way he felt the present is something like none other. Okay. So he triggered it manually by understanding. Okay. So second thing is notice if you're somehow resisting the current moment, doing something when you want to be doing something else. Focus your attention purely on what you are doing currently. Twitter, when some of you, and I presume all of you or most of you are using Twitter. Twitter has this, it says, what are you doing now? Literally, and it gives you a couple of characters, on 120 and whatever characters to write down, what are you doing now? And this is something that amazes me. And I'm so like, okay, what am I doing now? Okay, what am I doing now? Am I resisting the current moment? Imagine this, I'm at a meeting. It's a very boring meeting. We have 10 people there. And I just want to, get it over with. If we're searching for meaning in life and we just want to get over small periods of life, then we're wasting your time. We're wasting our time, actually. So we need to focus our attention purely on what matters. And if where we are now is not something where we want to be, then we should change it. That's why the 3 models of this, I can't say course, but a workshop presentation is basically, one is, I am the present. And you'll see the last one will be how to be in charge of the present, how to be in charge of your life. So one of the techniques is change. It's constant. Change is constant. Notice when you are in the past, if it's not positive experience, either use it to learn something valuable for using now or the future, or drop it. Notice when you are in the future, if it's not planning a future desired outcome, then drop it and come back to the present moment. So usually our life is in between the past and the present. It's somewhere in between. We're either clinging to the past. An example for the company where, currently my own company, new people, when they come in, usually like students that just graduated, or, interns, or, just people that, first working experience, they come with an idea. And sometimes I feel that that idea wouldn't work, but I give them the opportunity because my experience doesn't mean that their experience will be, the same. It can be totally different. My negative experience can be their positive experience. And one of the, I had a very, nice guy working in the company. And he came to me and said, okay, I want to poach this client. And I said, don't do it. It's just wasting your time, etc. He said, no, give me some time. And he found a technique. He found a way to get them on board, and we still have that client. Okay. So sometimes the past is holding us back. Okay. That's one side of it. The second side of it is the future. Now, let me ask you a question. Is there a guarantee to the future? Is there a guarantee that what you are doing now will bring you something in the future, or what you're not doing now will bring you something in the future? If you want to achieve something, don't, you can say the future is a goal, yes, but don't cling to it. It's a goal that you must follow, but you follow it by doing something in the present. Okay. Now, where most young people fall behind, and because this is a youth summit or forum, this is where I have a group of people that I call selfie sapiens. This is who we are. Okay. You go down the street, you go down the road, everybody is clinging to their mobile phones, they're chatting. We don't live in an information revolution. This is just an overwhelming, it's a bubble. Okay. And I'm not saying against it, I'm just using it as an example. But by being constantly socially aware of what's going on YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, you're constantly looking at other people's lives, and you're comparing yourself to their lives. And this is where people lose focus on the present. If you're not, there's an amazing amazing picture. It was a football game in the Premier League in London. And I'm one of the few surviving Arsenal fans. So, so anyways, I love them, and I went a couple of times, and I watch them all the time, and it's very interesting. And there was this amazing picture. I'm not really sure what game it was, of everybody taking pictures of the game. Okay, and there was an old lady just standing there and smiling. It's one of my favorite pictures. Being aware of the moment is crucial. Being aware that you are with your friend at the same time, and that you're talking something deeply, that you're not undermining them, that you're feeling it as an experience that will hang on to you throughout the rest of your life. And that is what we want to achieve. And that is the focus of our attention. So usually social media, as powerful tools as they are for business, branding, getting in touch with your friends all over the world, it's draining us. I just read that during a day or during a couple of hours hanging on social media, we see more than 50,000 advertising messages, more than 300,000 messages that cover all our mind cells, and we're just overwhelmed with information. Now that kind of information is too much, and it is too much, definitely. So if you want to take a picture and you have the best food for you, then one of these pictures is definitely something. I had a different post that I just deleted, but this definitely shows what I mean. Wait a minute, I need to post this when the sharks attack. Okay, so the first thing is, we are self-aware. I am the present. I'm here now. The wind is not blowing, the sun is shining. I have a beautiful wife at home, two princesses at home that I adore, that I love. Unfortunately, sometimes don't see me enough, but it's something that I want to work on, is saying that I am aware of the present. And, I'd like, because, obviously this is an online thing, but if you can repeat in yourself, I am the present, I am aware, I am who I am. State your name, state your surname, and feel that you are in the moment. You are watching this. You are currently watching, a workshop on self-awareness. Okay, so this is the first thing. I am present. The second thing is, I am in charge. And I love the TV show House. Okay, so there's this amazing quote that he says time changes everything. That's what people say, and it's not true. Doing things changes things. Not doing things leaves things exactly as they are. This sentence shows you, pardon me, that the time zone is a relative thing, and being in the present is only what matters. Being in the present, understanding the now. And this is how you get in charge, okay? One of the key points, and one of the people I usually worked on and got a lot of points on, was Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins says that stress, anger, sadness, these feelings don't come from the facts, they come from the meaning that we give to them. And he has this saying constantly. He says that it's not about where you are, it's the words you give to things. You have a girlfriend, you name her, he says you're a girlfriend, and it means something to you. The job you have, it's more than a job, it's a mission. So this is basically is saying that we give meanings to words, we give meanings to life. Okay, now how to be in charge of your life, how to take control of your life. One of the key points are, you have to set your goals. And I know you hear a lot about goal settings, you went through workshops on goal settings, and that is normal. Where most of my students actually lose their time is they set high standard goals, which is okay, fine. But one of the key techniques to understanding and setting your goals and actually doing something on them is not setting high standard goals. It's setting 2 or 3 high standard goals and a couple of small goals that you can accomplish today or tomorrow, short-term goals, until they become a habit, a 40-day habit. 40 days to do something becomes a habit. So I have this workshop that I usually give to my attendees when I'm coaching them, and one of them is, they have to name, or you can do it tonight. So just put tonight when you come home, just open your notes, open anything, your mobile phone, your tablet, whatever, and just type in 20 goals that you want to achieve in life. 20 goals. Yeah, it's very simple. You'll need, let's say, 15 minutes approximately. 20 goals. And then afterwards, after 20 goals are set, cut them by half. Just cut the primary goals that you want to have. Okay, cut it by half. Then you have 10 goals. And it will take approximately 10 minutes. And then you have to, out of these 10 goals, just to choose 2 goals, 2 of them. And you will need probably an hour. because everybody has goals. I want a better car. I want a better life. I want this. I want that. I want to own my own building. Whatever. It's everybody has a lot of goals. I want to travel the world. I want to learn languages. But when you set a goal for a time period of say 1 year, and if it's a high standard goal, that means that I want to learn a new language. I want to learn Arabic. Okay, so I want to learn German, whatever. So when you put this, that's a one goal, and then you choose daily activities to achieve that goal. I want to learn a new instrument. I want to learn how to play the guitar. These are the things, and this is the way how to achieve, how to take control back of your life. Okay, so this is the second step that we need to accomplish. Why? Because Huxley says there's only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that is your own self. You can't think about your parents, you can't think about your friends, you can't think about the car, you can't think about the company you work with, because most of these things are not in your hands. What is in your hands and what you can control at this current moment is yourself. And it's a very, very simple formula. Okay, start today. Actually, start yesterday if you can. Okay, it's a very simple formula. Start doing small things until they become a habit. Small things. Half an hour I learned today. Half an hour I want to learn Italian because I want to go to Rome and enjoy myself and speak Italian with native people. Okay, so native Italian. So I want to learn Spanish. I want to learn to play guitar. I want to learn to play football. I want to, whatever you want to achieve. I want to be the best at marketing. I want to establish my own company. How do you establish your own company? First, you have to research. You have to have your own knowledge. You have, things come with that, but you have to create a plan and start doing small things every day. Okay, small things every day. That's how you achieve the 102 goals. And in 10 years time, you're not on a treadmill. You're not running in one spot. You're actually improving. You're actually achieving something. Okay. Is this fine until now? You can follow me. Everything's cool. Oh, no response. Yay, man! I love this. Okay. Great. So, what are the techniques? Apart from setting goals, apart from understanding time, and apart from understanding, being self-cautious, self-aware of where we are, is taking charge of your body and your mind, body connection and awareness. And I can't stress this enough. You can use yoga, you can use prayer, you can use any other technique that will change your body stance. If you're sitting constantly like this, you don't have control of your body. Okay. If you're feeling sad, feeling tired, try pulling yourself up. Okay, try jumping. Okay, try jumping. What I usually do, and they laugh, I start running around the office, just running around, and it's like, okay, he's finally gone crazy. Okay, he's finally gone mad. I'm saying, yeah, beautiful. But I bring energy back, blood starts flowing to my mind, and I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel sad. Okay, and I constantly have a smile on my face. Why? Not because I'm 24 hours positive. If I was 24 hours positive, that means I've been probably using some drugs. Yeah. So anyways, that's not what I do. What I do is I change my body stance. Okay, and that is the first thing you have to do. You have to be in control of your body. When people pray, they are in different shapes of your body. They are, every shape you have during prayer or during yoga brings an energy flow through your body to your mind, that you actually be aware of where you are. Okay, being aware by changing and taking control and being in charge of your body. Other thing is super attention to whatever you are doing now. If you're listening to me, you gotta be focused. You gotta have attention on what you are doing. You should pull yourself up. Okay, this is where I'm gonna concentrate. Don't let your mind go. And believe me, I'm a procrastinator. I know what it means to have a monkey jumping around in my head, but don't do that. All right. So control is being fully aware and having full attention of where we are at the current moment. Third thing is, sometimes you gotta understand the silence. people, when they talk, and this is one of the most powerful tools while communicating, is um, pause or silence. When people are sad, they have a silence between the words. When people are angry, try to listen to it. Try to listen to your own silence. Give yourself the time to understand it. Okay. The other one is conscious breathing. Now, breathing is something that we have to do in order to survive. And if we don't breathe, we don't, live, of course. So, what is the difference between conscious breathing and just breathing? The main difference is you control it. Okay. Now, usually when there are a lot of people, I just stand on the stage and I ask them to start breathing very deeply, very heavily. Okay, just go. Okay, feel how you breathe, feel how beautiful it is. Okay, and we're usually not aware of how, it's, the feeling is amazing. Like, all right, it's, you understand the importance of breathing. It's a technique. Now you try to use this technique, maybe say in the morning when you wake up, in the evening when you want to sleep. Okay, you must try and you must train yourself to be aware. Okay, brilliant. Now, other thing is, wow, okay, stop scrolling and start doing. Usually what we do in our lives is, just okay, when we just bam, 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 and then we watch, look at the clock, and it's 2 hours. Wow, 2 hours of our time just went down scrolling on what other people are doing. And I don't want to curse now because there are a lot of nice people, but yeah, it's terrible, definitely crazy. So imagine, what using this 2 hour period or 1 hour period, just having a nice time, going out with friends, learning something new, taking a couple of minutes to understand who you are, maybe using the time to emphasize your skills, or train your skills, whatever you are doing. If you want to achieve something, stop scrolling, stop looking at what others are doing, and stop looking at what others are feeling and where others are traveling, and start doing. If you want to achieve more, if you want to earn more, if you want to, whatever you want to do in your life, you can't do it by only understanding things. Action is the mother of success. Action is the mother of whatever you want to achieve. If you want to achieve a goal to, retire by the age of 40 or 50 or whatever, you got to start now. And it depends on, I don't know who you are, where you come from, what. My life started from a -10. Okay, I started from scratch. I started from nothing. I had nothing. Okay, so I had to work my off to really come where I am currently. And at 30 years of age, I want to improve further on. It's because what I want to achieve, but what am I doing at this moment? I'm taking charge of my life, of what I'm doing. I don't care. I have of course, I have an Instagram page. You can like it, of course. Just joking. And I post every single day, and I have a team of people that do it with me. But I don't scroll. I don't look at what others are doing. I actually have a filter that I just want to see when I come in. I want to see positive things. I want to train my mind, and I want to feed my mind to think positively. So I really don't care where others are. It's where I am that matters. And this is one of the most important ways to actually take control of our life. And the third one is meditation. Now, meditation also goes back to connecting your mind, spirit, and body. Meditation is something that you must have in your life. And usually when I say meditation, people see this yoga stuff, etc. It's, I am really not emphasizing that. Meditation can also be having a 10-minute time period just to watch at the sky, understanding who you are, being alone with yourself. Meditation is also praying. Meditation is also yoga. Meditation is also hiking, or bike driving, or whatever people find that they can meditate on. I have a friend that meditates while taking showers. It's something that he feels comfortable in. That's where his mind is working. So basically, meditation is crucial. If we're constantly just striving for something more, or even working constantly without meditation, we will burn what we have. And that's not what we want. That's not what you want. You need to feel, you need to understand, and you need to meditate. So this is very, very important. Okay. Now, since we have all this time in understanding how time works and how the past, the future works, and how to understand the present and how to take control of our life, we have to invest. Now, there's this concept of a time bank that I really enjoy. It says when you invest something now in, let's say, a feasible investment is maximum 7 years. Okay, some professors can, give you a few points more, but let's say at most 7 years. So, but 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. If you invest something in a time bank, just to learn new skills. Okay, let's say you decide tonight, I want to learn something new. Okay, I want to learn how to, I want to learn mountain climbing. All right. For me, for instance, I love Japanese language. Never had time to learn it, but something that I want. Um, but if I would say devote 15 minutes of my time to learn something new, in 7, 8 years, it comes with interest rates. You will learn it. Just 15 or 20 minutes per day. And this is investing in a time bank. And what people usually don't understand is there's a workshop technique I love to give them. Everybody has to write 84,900, is it, dollars, and that they have to spend per day. Okay. And when I usually, they write a couple of things they want to buy, a car, whatever, a new dress. They can't buy these big capital investments such as villas, homes, or apartments. So they write, a couple of things down. And what usually we don't understand is these are the number of seconds we have per day. So the only currency, and I just posted this on LinkedIn, I believe, the only currency we really have is time and health, of course. But time is the only currency we don't get back. And this is scary, guys. This is scary. When I'm thinking about, money you can get, it goes, it flows, you lose it, you get it, whatever. The only currency we never get back is time. The only currency we never get back is this moment right now where we are. So we have to, we have to understand, we have to feel it. This is the most valuable currency we can get. So if we invest in the time bank now, in 7 years time, we get an investment. And this is, you don't have to do a feasibility study on it. Believe me, this is a feasible investment. Okay. So one of the things I put in my book is this quote, and I'm just going to give it to you. It says, motivation is what leads us to achieve goals, create and follow challenges, to constantly progress in everything we do. Okay, and you can follow more on kbinspire.com. So what is motivation? Okay, people ask me what is motivation, because in order to be in charge of our lives, we've got to be motivated to do so. And motivation is something that goes up and down. You get it, you lose it. It's something that very hard to be a constant. One of the most important things for us or for you to be motivated is there's no certainty, and you have to understand this. Okay, now if we are in the present, understand this, there's no certainty in life. You can lose it at any point of time, and it changes in a minute. Okay, so for me, what is funny, and somebody that got married when I was 20 years old, I worked 3 jobs to accomplish, to finish my university's degree, my master's degree, to continue my PhD, to start working. Had a failed company by the age of 22. Had another company that I sold for peanuts, and my third and fourth company, my third company is actually working very good. We have an office in UK and Sarajevo, and people ask me most of the time, like, how do you get motivated, because they feel the energy. And the number one thing is there's no certainty in anything we do. People want to have stable homes and families and and jobs. You see this, and the best example is COVID-19. COVID-19 showed us that there's no certainty in the world. I had 10 contracts in February. 9 of them were canceled by March, April. 9. Because, you know, I was like, yay, I'm going to take a month, you know, vacation. I'm going to travel. You know, you're not going to travel anywhere. You're going to stay where you are, and you're going to work everything you have and devote everything you have, you know, to get your business up and running and not lose any people, etc., etc. So you can't be certain of anything. If your family, if your wife, your spouse, whatever, you can't be certain. That's something that is, you know, so be certain of the uncertain, you know, be certain. If you want to do something, do it. If you want to do something, do it now, because there's no certainty. You know, you can fail. Sure. I love failing. I failed in most of things in my life, and that's where I learned from. And I don't ignore it, you know, but I did fail by the age of 24, 25, 26. So I learned from it, and, you know, it brought me something here. The second question is how to sustain motivation, okay? How to sustain it. Now, there are several techniques how we can sustain motivation. One of them is find something that really motivates you every single day. You want to hear what that is for me? I'm alive. I'm alive, okay? Every single morning I wake up very early, you know, look out the window, see my, you know, kids, see my wife, my mom's with me, and it makes me so happy. It makes me feel alive. And this is what motivates me every single day. The other thing that most motivates me is goals that I set constantly, small goals that I accomplish, because this is actually part of self-awareness, of self-motivation. Okay. The problem is that people want to jump through goals. They want to jump through the barrier. They want to be something overnight, and it's not possible. You got to take it one step at a time. One of, you know, the amazing, I recall when my firstborn was just a little kiddo, and she was, I think, 1 years old. Her name is Nadia. And Nadia was very small. She's my princess, and I used to carry her on my, you know, on my feet. And, you know, I don't know, you know, dads do those things. Now she just makes fun of me. She's a grown little lady, but you know, I used to hold her hands, and we used to walk. And, you know, when she was supposed to fall, I used to, you know, catch her. And one of my friends says, you know, what are you doing, man? He said, you know, I don't want her to fall. And he said, like, let her fall, man. Let her fall. So why? That's how they learn. That's how they learn. That's how they feel good when they accomplish something. I was scared. I mean, it was my first child, you know, and I was looking at her, you know, she fell once, twice, 3 times. I don't recall how many times she fell, but when she succeeded, oh my God, you should have felt, you know, you should have seen this feeling. She was like, you know, like she conquered the world. That is where self-motivation comes in, by achieving small goals in life. Okay, so we understand the present, we understand where we are, and what we want to achieve. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, yeah, whatever. We want to achieve something in our lives, and we took charge of what we're doing. We understand we are somewhere. We understand we have to change things, and how to be dedicated, how to transform where we are to where we want to be. Okay, and this is the third part. It's called I am dedicated. Okay, now what are the most, you know, what are the questions of life? One of the questions of life is, what are you going to do in life? You know, and this usually involves career, plan to make money, what you're searching in the world, what you know, anything that you want to achieve. Do you want to what are you doing with sports, or anything that you plan to do in life that will actually make you happy? Second question is, whom will you do your life with? And this is something Grant Cardone also emphasizes a lot. He says this involves the choice of spouse, who you want to work for, and the friends you hang out with. And usually, you know, sometimes people feel unhappy, and it's because, you know, the friends they hang out with make them feel bad. And that's, you know, where you're gonna change things. And the third question that we must answer ourselves is, where will you do your life? It's literally the physical notion of where you live. You don't feel happy where you live? Change it. Move. The location, the house, the, you know, city, neighborhood, whatever you feel makes you uncomfortable, you want to change, do it. So these are the three things and the three questions you must ask yourself. Okay, and this is where transformation happens, and this is beautiful. It says, where, what will I do? Instead of asking what will I do, is what more can I do? You know, you gotta expand your thinking, expand your thoughts. What more can I do? Can I do more to change my life, so that I don't have to do this? Okay, instead of just asking who will I do it with, ask instead whom else can I do it with. I'm not speaking about, you know, these kind of stuff, but about adding friends. You know, most people are in a small circle of friends that they can't actually feel happy with, and they don't feel, you know, they don't feel that they make them feel, you know, aware or happy or fulfillness. So, you know, add some more friends to it, add some more clients. If you have a company and, you know, you're not satisfied with your clients, add more clients, expand, scale up. Okay, instead of just asking where will I do it, where else can I do it? Okay, this is also a question. If I have a company in Sarajevo and I said, okay, it's not enough, let's move to London, let's move to the US, let's move to Dubai, let's move to Doha. It doesn't matter where, but try to expand your thinking, try to expand your thoughts. Now, transformation isn't something that is easy. It's not something that is simple. It's something that you constantly have to work from. So it comes from the right information, the right people, the right timing. And usually if you see the slide that I'm currently showing you, it's basically how my mind works. It's a load of crazy information all around that I have to pull into one spot in order to transform my life. Okay, so one of the basic concepts of understanding life is that we have to dominate the moment. Okay, dominate, don't compete. You know, in business, and I'm, you know, somebody that's in business for the last 7 years, and, you know, I hate competing. When they say, okay, it's good, it is good, but it's good for the market, you know, free market economy, for, you know, countries. um, yeah, it's good for the customer, for the clients. I don't like it, I hate it. I hate competition. I like to dominate it. I like to dominate the moment. I like to dominate, and I'm not saying I'm being tough and whatnot. It's just understand and feel the moment, feel the energy, conquer it where you are and where you stand. Okay, don't compete. If you're in school, at the university, and you want to achieve something more, don't just compete, dominate it. Okay, be the best you can be. And this is how to, when you're aware of where you are, I am present. When you took charge of your life, you're aware that you have to change things. If you want to transform, you have to feel it. You have to dominate the moment. Okay, and this is crucial. This is very important. And how to be self-aware is one of the most important things. And Nikola Tesla says, yes, the truth is that I always take more than I can accomplish. I always take more. So he constantly motivates himself, constantly strives to achieve more. So so he gets constant motivation. Okay. Now, how do we understand the present? Okay. The past, it doesn't exist. It happened. If we cling to the past, you know, we can never understand the current. If we cling to the past, we never understand where we are. The future is a projection of our mind. Okay, it's a scenario. It's something that we made up. We open a company. Let me give you an example. We open a company and we say, okay, this is where my company will be 5, 6 time. And it's in my business plan, it's in my marketing plan, it's in my sales approach, forecast, whatever. Great, brilliant. Something doesn't add up. Whatever, COVID. Okay, Corona starts. What now? We feel anxious, we feel anxiety, we feel loss, We feel bad because we didn't accomplish things. Okay? This is understanding the future in the wrong way. The future is a projection of our mind. Recall what we talked about when I quoted Tony Robbins. It's how we give meaning to things. It's how we will understand things. Okay, and how we will understand the present. So the future is a projection, and the past is something that just happened. The present is the only moment that we currently live in, because the past can't be changed. We can learn from it to do things differently, use this to become happier and more successful in the now. Okay, we get burned by a girlfriend or a boyfriend, we learn something from it. We fail the course, we learn something from it. Okay, when in the future, it can't be predicted or controlled. I told you, when you know, if you can repeat after me or write it somewhere, you know, the circumstances we live in, we cannot be certain of anything. So we must be certain in the uncertain. Okay, certainty is something that doesn't exist because the life goes on. Okay, so be more in the now. What does that mean? Tune out of distractions, pay attention to what is important now, have complete full attention in the moment. And to do so, sometimes you got to have a leap of faith, okay, like The Rock has in the movies. You gotta invest in passion. You gotta be passionate about what you're doing. As Gary says, skills are cheap, passion is priceless. And you gotta fight constantly with yourself to stay motivated, change the way, remember, change the way we are moving, change the way our body talks to us, all right? And most of the time, we just must look at ourselves in the mirror and, you know, feel that we are in the moment, feel that we must take charge, must take control of our life, and we must dominate. Thank you very much. Stay positive. Exactly 1 hour as promised. And I'll just finish with be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'm at your service. Okay. Any questions?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending this session. It's our pleasure to have you, Mr. Kemal, with us.
My pleasure is mine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we need 4 participants to make an interview with our team about youth forum and its benefit effects. So please, if you are interested, please click on raise hand. And if you are not, you can leave the session. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. If you are not interested to make an interview, please, you can leave.
So, Ms. Fatma, shall I stay or?
No, Mr. Kemal, you can leave. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Please do send my, I can send my email, or Ms. Marima knows my email. So if you have any questions at all, you can find me also on Facebook, social media. I really would love to hang out with you guys. Yeah, it was an honor and pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.